Hello and welcome back to Cemetery Mary. On the last episode, someone died, and then I believe Reginald still persisted that we hang out. It's still a questionable vibe for Reginald, but he did gain the nickname Reggie. I do not agree with his nickname, but I believe we're currently leaving town to go on another, I guess, adventure, hanging out really. So with that, really it's just time to see where we get taken to. So everything back home has been very hectic, hasn't it? I think it's nice to forget that place exists sometimes. Do you not like living there? Has it been hectic for you? Do you always do this when you need to... yeah, how often do you do this? What, drive out of town? Drive out of town? I don't know why I pronounce it like that. Not always. Well, sometimes. I'm actually quite the traveller, you know? Really? I wouldn't have expected that from someone in your career field. I agree. I don't know the correct term for a coffin maker, but it does sound like something that you would need to stay within the town, within the local sort of community to, yeah. Well, I didn't always used to do that. It's actually quite recent that I started. Really? But you seem so skilled at it. You just happen to align with my interests at the moment. Though, I must admit, I always did have a thing for some of the more grim side of life. Is this foreshadowing? Perhaps it's not the most apt way to say it, though. It's more of an appreciation, you could say. That it very, very the butcherous kind of well, speaking really. Though, what if I'm just falling for it? What if this is intentional? That could be a thing. But I'm sure you'd understand for that better than anyone. Yeah, I think I get what you mean. Still though, it seems a bit weird to go from travelling a lot to what you do now. Well, I'd like to travel again soon, but maybe not so soon. I'm fine where I am for now, especially since where I am is where you are. Do you not appreciate that? Hey, we're almost there. Really? Just a few more blocks and... Where have you taken us? When we arrived, I couldn't believe it. He'd take me to... Is it the circus? An aquarium. Fair enough. Though, is it because we're like a manta ray? Yeah, because our last name is Anta, right? Really? Mm-hmm. I couldn't think of anything more calming than watching the fish swim along. Do you like it? I like it. I love it. Oh, what are you just standing there waiting around for? Mary's excited about something other than something grim. Come on, let's go. I grabbed Reginald by the hand and dragged him inside after me. An aquarium. I was so excited. How did he know I always wanted to go? Penguins. I haven't been to one of these in so long. I didn't know they have outside animals now too. Indeed they do. Just the way Reginald's posed as well. I think it's quite nice being able to see them up close like this. So cute. What kind of penguins are these anyway? Oh my, that's not a very nice name at all. Maybe they've done something to deserve it. No way. I refuse to believe something so cute could do something so bad. Oh, I don't know about that. What's the name? Oh, is that a stingray or is that a manta ray? I don't know the difference. Oh goodness, look at this. It's the cutest. I would say it seems very fitting for you. I wonder why. You think so? I mean, yeah, I suppose it does fit, yeah. Why do gift shops have to be so expensive? Do you want it? Huh? Don't mind paying if you really want it that badly. No. I'll think about it. And I'll have my own money anyways. If you're sure. Look at all the jellies. Not even jellyfish. I'm pretty sure that's a plural, right? It's not jellyfishes, because obviously plural for fish is just fish. Just as cheap as sheep. Jellies? Yeah. What else would you call them? Fair point. But they're not made of jelly. That's kind of some cloudy the chance of meatballs kind of logic there, though. Just ignore me. I'm stupid. It's so pretty. I do find it interesting, jellyfish are bioluminescent sometimes, I guess. I say sometimes. I'm assuming I know things about anything about animals, including aquarium life, but I don't really. Anyway, you know something? By their elegant appearance, I hear they're not very bright. Bright? Well, I don't know if that's a play on the fact that they glow for bioluminescence, or the fact that they're, like, barely anything besides, like, water. That's pretty silly, I think. I think they're smart in their own way. Well, I guess I have to... What? I guess they'd have to be to survive with the rest of us, huh? I mean... You say that, yet... You know... Humans aren't the brightest either. And they somehow... Well, I think they only survive because of sheer numbers alone. Even though, to be fair, insects kind of just outnumber us a lot. You know, when I'm running around, I always forget how nice it is to just sit down. That is, until I'm actually doing it. I can't remember the last time I walked this much. I know I can. Oh, I know I can. Now that we've got a bit to sit, what's been your favourite part so far? Probably just the Cape, honestly, from my personal experience. I know it's obviously got nothing to do with the actual animals, but it's nice to see Mary actually having fun. My favourite? Well, I think it's a really hard decision. I liked everything, though I guess I really liked seeing the manta ray, the seahorses, the pufferfish, the sharks, the octopus, turtles. A lot of good options actually, but I'm gonna go with Mary's thing, the manta ray. I've always had a kind of connection to them. I wonder why. But being able to see one, they're so big, and they swim so gracefully. I wonder how that must feel, you know? I like to feel as peaceful as they look. I'm sure it's possible. You know, you remind me of one. Really? Yeah. You've got their horns, after all. You think so? I was always told they look more like, you know, devil horns. Nonsense. They must be, they're much too soft for that. You're as gentle as one of those manta rays. And don't let anyone tell you any different. It's true, honestly. If you say so. How about you? What's your favourite part so far? Truthfully? Well, I just think I enjoyed spending time with you the most. Hey, you can't say that. Now I feel like a jerk for my answer. Don't. I just appreciate the company, that's all. Thank you again for bringing me. I'm having a really nice time. I can't remember the last time I had a day as nice as this. Thank you for coming. I'd go by myself, but where's the fun in that? I mean, I understand the value in time alone, and honestly, I think I appreciate it more than most people. But always being on your own gets lonely too. Makes you go a little crazy, you know? Is this a confession? Have you been alone most of your life, Reginald? I don't trust him. Because, I mean, like, compare Reginald to the other two, routes. Croven's unintentionally being mean to, Mary, but that's due to, like, his own sort of like issues. Twyla obviously too obsessed with the actual killings that she's kind of neglecting human people, but then again that's also her personality. Two, I'd say, bad routes for Mary, and the fact that this, besides our clear obsession or possession by the black ooze, everything about Reginald is like, oh, this is nice, ha ha ha. Ignore this murder, we'll take you to an aquarium. So I think it's the fact that they're trying to hide, or not necessarily hide it, but more so bring out happy events with Reginald, which kind of to like blindside you with all the negatives. Anyway, makes me glad I met you too. I appreciate being able to share experiences like this with you. Yeah, I understand, though I'm kind of the opposite. I don't think I really like being alone that much. I think loneliness is miserable. You don't enjoy being by yourself? Every now and then, even every now and then, or now and again? Honestly, not really. So you don't even enjoy reading on your own? Because you like curling up by the fire, don't you? But you're always at the cemetery, aren't you? Forgive me, but I can't imagine one would make many friends there. I like to think of them as being my friends, you know? I mean, I'm giving them flowers all the time. Somebody is in there's got to appreciate it, right? I suppose so. Do they? Do we go optimistic or do we go... Well, I don't know. We're both pretty optimistic. No, optimistic versus confidence. That's what I'd say. Both positive things. Let's go with optimistic. Yeah. I mean, I know I would. You would? Yeah, I would. To show someone's caring even though they don't know me. That's a nice thought, isn't it? True, but to be fair, I find that to be a bit fictitious. I would also find it I'd find it off-putting, someone I don't know being very friendly. Because, I don't know, I guess it's not a thing you'd expect in the world. That's someone you don't even know cares about you. I suppose it is. But it doesn't mean... But doesn't it mean even more when somebody does know you? Yeah, I think it does. I mean, I think anyone would choose spending time with a friend over spending it with a stranger. I don't know. Maybe a friend needs some time alone, and maybe a stranger needs the company. Well, would you? Me? I'd spend a time with a stranger. Well, yeah. Yeah, because I think stranger because, well, again, like a friend might need time alone, and a stranger might, you know, need the company. But there's always the idea that you can get a better, like a more raw experience, like not experience but perspective, because from a stranger, because they're outside your usual circle. So you know, with friends, not necessarily that you might have the same sort of interests and stuff like that, but it's kind of like a closed circuit kind of thing for when it comes to perspectives and help and guides and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, a stranger, completely different experiences, might have a different point of view on something, and it might be just the point of view you need, I guess. Obviously, this isn't to put down friends as an option. Sometimes a friend might know you so well that they know exactly what you need. But I'm gonna go with stranger. Even after what you just said, you'd rather spend your time with a stranger? Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll get a friend out of it. You were a stranger to me once, before too, you know? So, like, maybe there's no such thing as strangers. Just friends you haven't gotten to know yet. Oh, but that's also, well, knowing myself as the pessimist I am. Strangers are the friends you haven't made yet. Enemies are just the friends you haven't argued with yet. But I'm sure you know that there's bad people in the world too. Yeah, the butcher. What if the stranger you're stuck with isn't as nice as you? Well, as long as they're not super bad. I'm used to people who don't really like me that much. That's an ouch. Not to sound like I'm pitying myself or something. I mean, you're my friend, right? Because I'm really grateful for that. Because, well, making friends being friends hasn't always been an easy thing for me. I was actually kind of shocked when you reached out to me, I guess. Why wouldn't I? You were always so pleasant to me when we spoke. Maybe, but no one ever, follows up with me. It was just the strange girl that they met at a funeral once. We spoke about this, didn't we? I only really meet people through funerals. And well, I can understand why I don't see them again after that. Who would want to be friends with a creepy girl who hangs out in the cemetery all day? All she does is stand there and talk to herself. I've got a nickname, you know? I've heard him say it. Cemetery Mary. That's what they call me. At least, that's what people who remember me call me. Do you like it? Yeah, I guess. It's better than nothing. It's better than Bloody Mary. It's better than Scary Mary. Yeah, it's better than Scary Mary. That's what kids used to call me back when I went to a public school. You stopped? Yeah, kids weren't very kind to me. Kids are never kind. Even the kind ones, in quotation marks. Even the kind ones, they'll just be being honest, and they'll say something that, obviously, they didn't intend to upset people with, but they'll still upset people by saying what they say. No one really wanted to be my friend. I was weird, you know. Even as a kid, I always wanted to go to the cemetery. Kids used to say I was a witch, using the power of the dead to, spread curses or something or the other. Or visiting my past victims. I don't know. Kids are mean. Some are, but not everyone is intentionally. And my appearance never really helped. My eyes are too weird, too big, too creepy. You aren't creepy. Children are just cruel. Yeah, I know. That's what Mom and Dad used to tell me, too. Though, I think it's better hearing it from someone else. Thanks, I guess. Guess I can't deny how much time I've spent there. Can I ask something? About the cemetery? Yeah, of course. Well, maybe it's not really the cemetery itself, but the funerals. You seem to be awfully good at finding your way into them. So much so, it feels as though many don't get upset with you. Quite remarkable, really. But I suppose my question is, why? Why? Yeah. What is it about them that makes you want to attend? Honestly, I think they're sweet. The idea behind them, at least. It's tragic to lose a friend. Of course, I felt that loss many times than I'd like to think about. I felt it pretty recently, and it's terrible, but there's something wonderful in the process, I think. Have you ever seen so many people get together in one place? Yeah, probably at birthdays, to be fair. People always call out for things. They can't make it to your birthdays. Did I read that wrong? People always call out for things. Cool. They can't make it to your birthdays. They can't be there for holidays. Oh, well. Yeah, true. Life gets in the way of things, funnily enough. But everyone comes to a funeral. Not everyone. I mean, that's... I think this is a bit of a grim perspective, but, I mean, If you have the funeral first, you don't have to go to anyone else's funeral. And you know why? Because they love that person. Not really. I mean, that's a happy perspective on things, but what if they just don't want to seem to be that person? Like, yeah, I'll show up, just just so they don't seem to be the bad guy. Because obviously the sad news is that it's not just with like friends, but sometimes family will have that excuse as well. Like, I'll show up just so I don't seem disrespectful, not because like they were close. Whether they were their best friend or they hardly knew him, they still come because they impacted them enough to come. Disagree. They meant enough to them during their life that they came to say goodbye. The more people there are, the more you know how loved they were. Can you imagine that? Being loved so much, having such an impact on someone else, that so many people come to your funeral. Well, here's the issue with that, Mary. You spend your time so much at the funeral. Who would show up to yours when it was your time to go away? Because you're not impacting the living, you're impacting those who've already gone. It's probably a rude question, to be fair, but because they'll miss you, and because they love you. I see. That's why I like to go, because you can feel it. You can feel how much people love the deceased. It's heartbreaking and heartwarming all at the same time. I've never thought of it like that, but I want to now. That must be such a beautiful feeling to experience, and such a beautiful way to look at it. Let's go. Well, they're all the same thing, but I'm gonna go with worried. I wouldn't say scared or afraid, because I feel like that's a greater. Those would have a greater like. I'm gonna say impact, I guess. Because you can be worried about many things, but they aren't necessarily as alarming as the other two. Mm-hmm. Even there's so many people who care about them, even if they're dead, there will be a moment where they just are surrounded by friends. I will have friends. No one is going to know, no one's going to care, no one's going to remember me. No one's going to know. Mary, that isn't true. I know that I can't speak for the people, but I hope that you know that I'd care. And I'd never forget you either. I don't want to sound like I'm crazy, but you've had more of an impact on me than anyone I've ever met before. I'm like you. I don't have many friends. And after meeting you, well, I think I realized how miserable it really is to live like that. I didn't realize how bad it was until I actually had someone I could call my friend. And to think that you think that if you were gone, you wouldn't be missed. That is unimaginable to me. I do not think I'm a very memorable person, but if it means anything, I can promise you that you are unforgettable. I'll always remember you. In this life, the next, and the one after that. And that's a promise. Thank you. That means a lot to me. What's the point of the second option then? Sorry, not the second option. The third option. It does help a bit. I don't like to think about it, but even if there's only a few people who remember me, or even just one person, it makes me happy knowing it'd be you. Of course. I could never forget you. It was a pretty heartwarming time at the aquarium. It's been a few days since then. I felt a lot closer to Reginald ever since our day at the aquarium. although he's been busy with work, I haven't gotten to see much of him since, and I don't feel lonely. He sends me texts all the time, so even when I'm alone, I don't quite feel alone. It's nice to be alone, but not lonely. Besides, I had a nice day by myself, actually. Sometimes it's nice to just return to the cemetery for a normal day after so much chaos. I made sure to put at least one flower on every grave today. But soon my head started to hurt again. Where's Mary getting all the money to buy these flowers? Because I'm under the assumption that Mary doesn't. She doesn't just like clip the flowers from her garden, or she might do actually. Well, she lives in the woods, so maybe. And I feel very dizzy. I took a small rest, sitting down by myself. I told myself that I wouldn't let myself black out again. That I'd just sit for a few minutes and then get back up and head home if I was feeling really bad. That's not what happened, though. I truthfully didn't mean to fall asleep. I didn't. But when I sat back up against the mausoleum we have, after being outside on my feet all day, and having one of those familiar headaches, well, I just feel so tired. I didn't even realize I fell asleep. Oh, is it this again? Am I able to skip this? Yeah, I am. I don't remember. Are we asking Proven again? What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Cool. Where are you right now? So we're just calling Proven. Cool. I think I'm able to skip all of this. I keep thinking about it. Call one of your other friends. Friends, there's only one or two. Reginald time. Won't bother him. Mary, it's a bit late, isn't it? Is everything alright? Yeah, well, actually, kind of missed my bus home. Hoping I could stay with you tonight instead. Yes, of course. Where are you now? I'll be right over. Thank you. I told Reginald I was at the movie theatre, and he said he'd be there in no time to come and get me. I was really grateful to have a friend as generous as he is. I hoped I would one day be able to return the favour, but we can't drive. He looks panicked. Oddly enough. I saw a faint outline of Reginald's old car pull up inside of the movie theatre. I went out to meet him. Even though it was raining, he still got out of the car and held the passenger door open for me. I told him it was silly to do that. I hope I wasn't too late. He caught me in the middle of getting ready for bed, actually. I wanted to get recharged, or rechanged. It didn't feel right to leave my home in pajamas. Well, yeah, because then you obviously have gotten wet because you got out of the car. So you'd have to... Anyway. No, you're good. We drove off to Reginald's apartment amidst all the rain. Because it was so late, there were hardly any cars on the road, so it made the drive all a bit safer. We pulled into the parking space next to the building, and he covered me with his jacket as we ran inside. Inside. I can read, I promise. So sorry, I wasn't thinking. I should have brought an umbrella. I didn't mind. We stepped inside the familiar buzzing of the fluorescent lights. And quite frankly, a pretty gross smell that lingered from the last time I was here. Reginald didn't mention it though, so I wasn't going to either. I didn't want to potentially embarrass him or anything like that. Reginald led me to the stairwell, and we headed upstairs. I had forgotten how high up he lived. Once we were in the hallway, Reginald began to lead me to his apartment. I tried to be quiet as we moved through the hallway, not wanting to disturb any of his neighbours. I noticed a few boxes of other junk, outside of one of the doors. Was someone moving? Lots of people have been moving out recently, he whispered to me. Not like I can blame them. The landlady hasn't spoken to us in a while. That sounds like someone who's died. I think they might take her to court soon. I see. Then, before I knew it, we were entering the front door. Well, here we are. I apologize for the mess. If I had the foresight that you were coming, I would have cleaned up ahead of time. This is what he considered a mess. This seems like a familiar conversation. Still. It was a nice time at the aquarium. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully I can see you on the next one. With that, goodbye.